Hey everybody, welcome to Discard and Draw. I'm Tank, this is my brother Steel, and today we are talking about Star Realms. This is a great deck building game from White Wizard Games. It was actually a Kickstarter, and this is a great game.
It's a fantastic game. Let's open it up and take a look.
That's right. So this game is 2 players only with just the base set. If you buy more than 1 base set, you can play more than 2 players, but it's designed to be a 2-player game initially, so this is a setup for 2 players, and this is a deck building game. So you're going to start with a deck of 10 cards, 8 scouts, and 2 vipers. You're going to go into your deck, you're going to shuffle it up. Whoever's going first is going to start with 3 cards. And
whoever's going second gets 5 cards.
Yep.
Because that's the norm.
Yes. So at the end of every turn, you're going to be drawing back up to 5 cards. So you play your... if you've played Dominion, you kind of know sort of how this works. You play your cards. Your scouts give you money. Your vipers give you combat, which you're using to... This is basically you're fighting each other. So each player is going to start with 50... It's called authority. It's health, basically. You're starting with 50 authority. Whoever gets knocked out of the game loses.
It's a good concept for a game, actually.
It is.
I don't know why more people don't do that.
So on your turn, you're going to be playing your cards. Your cards are going to give you money in combat. You're going to use the combat to fight your opponent. You're going to use the money to buy new cards. And you've got 5 cards in the center row that you can purchase. And explorers, which are always available for purchase. These ones cost 2, and they give you 2 money, and you can remove them from the game to gain 2 combat for that turn. So there's 4 factions in this game, in addition to your cards, which are factionless, basically. They're neutral. The 4 factions are the Blob, the Machine Cult, the Star Empire, and the Trade Federation. Each faction sort of has their own theme for what they do in the game, generally speaking. The Blob is usually very high combat cards. The Machine Empire has a lot of cards that will remove cards from your deck, from your discard pile or your hand. The Star Empire has a lot of cards that are letting you draw and you're making your opponent discard cards. And the Trade Federation has a lot of cards that give you more health or authority. Authority is what it is, but more health, basically. And you can go higher than your starting 50 health. You can actually increase your authority beyond 50 if
you're not capped at 50.
Yeah, you're not capped at 50,
which I think is great.
Yeah,
because hardly any game does that, where you can go beyond what you start with.
Yep.
That's very rare, and I enjoy that.
And if you build a good enough deck, you can actually get pretty high. I mean,
that's usually what I do.
Yeah,
I like getting health.
I know we've had games where someone's been like over 100 or something like that. So so if you build the deck right, you can get a lot of health in this game. A lot of the cards have on them what are called ally abilities, and you'll see the symbol for the faction in the card effect text box, and next to it another effect. And if you play more than 1 card of that faction in a single turn, you basically get those extra bonus effects because they're working together to have a better effect on the game, basically. Some cards will also have a little trash can icon on them with an effect after that, and that's called a scrap ability. And what scrap is basically you're moving the card from the game to gain the effect listed on the card. So the cards you're buying are going to be either ships or bases. And bases work a little bit differently than ships. When you play your ships, you play them, you get the effect. At the end of your turn, they get discarded into your discard pile. But bases will stay out. Bases give you an ongoing effect as long as they are out in front of you. They can be destroyed. Each base has a number on a defense value. If your opponent has combat equal to or greater than that defense value, they can use their combat to destroy your base instead of attacking you directly. And your base will go to your discard. It doesn't get removed from the game, but it gets sent to the discard pile. There are two types of bases, too. There are regular bases, which will have a silver shield icon on them with the number inside of it. And then there are what are called outposts. Those will have a black shield with a number inside of it. And those cards are special because while you have an outpost in play, your opponent cannot attack you directly until they take out your outpost.
So many of you might know that we're all about expansions here at Discard and Draw. Tank, what kind of expansions are there for this game?
Well, there's a couple right now. There is actually the Crisis expansion set, which is you're buying basically 4 booster packs almost. They look like booster packs for like a collectible card game.
Oh.
2 of them add new bases and new ships to the game. The other 2 are special. The first one is Commanders, which come up in the trade row, and when you buy them, they go directly into play. They don't go in your discard like all the other cards do when you buy them. They go directly into play, and they have a trash ability on them that gives you a one-time bonus, basically. The other pack is the event cards. And these also go into the main deck, and when they come up in the trade row, they cause an immediate effect to happen that affects all players. It could be good, it could be bad. And those are the 4 expansions for the game. Well, and then there's the Gambit cards that you can buy. There's 2 different Gambit packs right now. And those are cards that you would deal out to each player at the beginning of the game. They keep them the whole game. They can use them whenever they want, and they do different things, bonus effects, that kind of thing. They don't count as part of your hand. They don't get discarded at the end of the turn. They don't go into your main deck or anything. That's like a separate side deck of cards that you can draw from and play, and you determine before you start the game how many cards you want to give of these to each player. There's not a set limit or anything. It's however many you decide. The other thing they've done now is they have another base set out right now called Colony Wars. This is a completely standalone base set that you can get. It has all new cards, different cards than what's in this game. But you can combine the 2 games and use all the cards from both games and all the expansions and everything in one huge, massive deck.
Wow.
That you can do. And that also will let you play with 4 people because both this one and the other one come with sets of these, the base cards, so you can play up to 4 people with that. There's also this that you can get. This is the Star Realms big box, I guess you'd call it.
It's a pretty big box.
It holds all the cards from all the stuff that they've released so far. And it comes with these wonderful Star Realms sleeves that you can use for your cards. They have the same back as the actual card itself. And this comes with those. And it also comes with a couple of bases that you throw into this deck that they're neutral bases. They're not aligned with any faction, but they have an ally ability for each faction. So they work pretty much with any faction. And they're outposts, so they also provide defense. So that's pretty cool, too. So, Steele, what do you think of this game?
I really like this game.
Yeah?
It's a lot of fun. Everything is done really well. The cards are great. The art is fantastic.
It is.
There's nothing really I don't like about it. Like I said before, I like getting all the health cards so I can get lots of health. Because you beat me anyways, but it makes me feel better, a little bit better about myself that I have so much health.
That's true.
But it kind of makes you seem better now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, it's a lot of fun as far as deck building games go for me. I really enjoy it. You get to pick what you want. You know, it's just the 2 of us. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great game.
I agree. I love this game. This is those of you who have watched our videos before know that I love deck building games. And this is definitely one of the best deck building games that I've ever played. I love the theme. The art is really nice. The game is easy enough to teach anyone how to play. I mean, even people who aren't really into games, you can easily get them into this. This is easy to teach. It's easy to learn.
It's pretty self-explanatory, too. I mean, everything's written on the cards.
Yep.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to,
It's not complicated.
No, it's really not, which is nice.
Everything's very clean. The cards are laid out very well. Mm-hmm. I like that they threw in the little health tracker cards.
The little nice counter feature. Cards. Those are really cool because how many people do that? I mean, really. Usually they let you fend for yourself with keeping track of health.
I used my own sleeves for these. I had clear sleeves. So
that's a good idea.
Because they're double-sided.
Right.
So you can't really put them in this. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but...
And that's the other thing, too, that these sleeves, they give you sleeves that have the same back. Yeah, well, if you buy this, yes, but... I mean, that's pretty cool.
That is cool, though.
How cool is that? I mean, it's white in the inside, but it looks exactly like the back. That's pretty sweet. I don't think I've ever seen a game do that, honestly. Can you think of any?
No, well, there's more that do it nowadays.
Well, yeah, maybe nowadays, but...
Well, like, I know Magic was big into doing stuff like that. But
Magic got tenure, though. They're okay.
Wow. This is true.
So...
But yeah, not a lot of games have their own sleeves. So that was a really cool additional thing that you could get.
I like when companies do that. It shows that they really care.
White Wizard Games is a really good company, too, because they have put out a few other games at this point, and all their games are really high quality. But at the same time, they're games that you can teach to just about anyone and get anyone into because they're not overly complicated. But that doesn't mean there's not a lot of strategy involved because... Right. Like this game...
There is quite a bit of strategy
There is quite a bit of strategy in this game because you got to decide what you want to
You got to balance your deck and...
If you just start buying cards willy-nilly, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot.
Right. You got to make sure you have cards that help other cards and... the
ally abilities interact with each other, which is really cool.
Yep.
So you can really feel like you got an engine going on once you get a few cards in your deck.
Very cool.
So it's definitely a very well designed game. A lot of fun.
So that's it for this episode of Discard Draw, everybody. I'm Steel. This is my brother Tank. That was Star Realms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, do what you gotta do, and we will see you in the next review.
This is a great deck building game that was actually a Kickstarter, and is just I just lost my train of thought. So this game is
Hold on, do it again. I was itching my head.
So this is a basic setup for two... Oh no, that's not gonna work. Okay, let me try that again.
Again!
Take two. There's, in addition to buying commanders to the game, which are people that will come out into the trade row, you can buy them, and you play. I'm gonna try that again.
Are you gonna ask me? Or?
I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, he's waiting to see what we're doing because he doesn't know.